The movement to low carbon technologies is one that involves quite substantial change. The earlier you embark on it in development, the less change you need. And in India in particular, it's in rather early stages of creating infrastructure. So this is a case, certainly for India, of avoiding the mistakes of the past. Now there are nevertheless some communities in India which are dependent on coal mining, and that will take some time to move away from that. But it's no argument against change that it will involve change. It'll involve dislocation, it'll involve redefining what some people do, if that change is so clearly beneficial for the people of that country, particularly the poor people of the country. You can't go on poisoning people because the act of producing those very damaging products, be it air pollution or greenhouse gases, you can't advocate going on doing that just because some change is involved. When you realise how damaging these are, you stop doing it. So the challenge is not whether you do it or not. That's just misposing the question. The challenge is how you manage it well. And that is to do with how workers who are working in areas which are going away from which are going to shift, how those workers are helped into new jobs, how they're trained, the training indeed that we need to give to young people from the beginning of life in a world where the work process will always be changing. Now, that's something you should do planning for the long term, because we're moving away from manufacturing towards services. There's lots of labour saving, technical progress. There's international division of labour is changing. Actually, there are lots of transitions going on, and it's a mistake to see this as just one isolated transition. It fits into a story where livelihoods and the way in which people earn their living changes over time. And this is one aspect of it. And actually, the story of shift to services away from manufacturing, which you see in economic development over the long term, the labour-saving technical progress, the changing international division of labour, those are very big stories into which the story of the low-carbon transition fits. So first is you have to train people early in life for change. Second, you have to see how these different changes can fit one with the other. And third, when you get a very specific change, for example, running down the coal mines over time in India, you have to work on the different kinds of possibilities there are for the people who have been working in the coal mines. And that involves retraining. Sometimes it would involve help with moving. Sometimes it could involve other government activities being moved to those places, like in the UK, when we moved a lot of Social Security administration to Newcastle, which had been suffering from the rundown of the coal industry and of shipbuilding and so on. So you can invest in people and you can invest in places. And it's extremely important that you do those things. But you set it in the context of an overall story of a number of big transitions going on at the same time. So it's just wrong to say because there's some dislocation you shouldn't do it, because you're doing something which is avoiding, as it were, deep damage to the people as a whole, both local and global. But you should do it in a way that invests in people and invests in places